And welcome into another edition of Top Dogs College Football with Jeremy Conn. I'm Mark Zinno. We are the Top Dogs. Certainly the best looking, so there is that. But we're here to give
carrying us in that department. Thanks.
Here to give you guys 5 plays in a show best bet as we have been ticking along in college. Still hovering right around that hair above that 500 mark for me on the season, Jeremy. We've had a couple of, sort of middle past 2 weeks looking to get back. It's just, what happens, and I'm going to just bitch here for a second. Like, I'm really tired of college football right now because every play that handicaps the right way ends up not covering the way it's supposed to. Like stupid things keep happening. You know what the difference between the right side and the winning side? Like, do you subscribe to that theory like I do?
Oh, I don't think, like, sometimes you win and you really lose, and sometimes when you lose, you really win.
Thank you, Rosie Perez. And sometimes when you win or lose, you actually
tie.
And sometimes when you tie, you actually win or lose.
No, Billy, I'm not saying when I'm thirsty, I want water. I want you to say, I too know what it's like to be thirsty. What? You Chiquita nutcase. Anyway.
What man can't jump? Anyway, so sometimes you're on the winning side, but that's not the right side. That should have been bet. Like, case in point, Alabama last week. They easily should have covered that 3. And I pushed, and I was pissed. But easily should have covered that 3. That was not a game Missouri. Like, if you look at the stats and the numbers and everything else, no way Missouri should have covered that game.
Let me give you the opposite. I had Missouri plus 3.5.
Yeah,
did I go and boast that I had the right side of it? No, I felt very fortunate to win that game. Like, sometimes it comes down that way.
Yeah, well, numbers matter. Anyway, let's get into the 5 games that we have this week. Get you guys started here, and let's rock and roll. All 5 matchups this week are ranked versus ranked teams. So first time that we've had to do that here on Top Dog. You see LSU and Vanderbilt, the Commodores, minus 2.5 at home here. And money line play, you see where it is, total at 48.5. All right, so let me say this much. Every week, I should, this is a funny joke. Every week I write down all the plays on the card like this, right? I just write down all my notes and I write everything down. And right at the top was Vandy money line. Just as a spot situationally here for the Commodores. As the week has gone on, I've sort of softened on that. I'm a little more flaccid on Vanderbilt than I was earlier in the week.
Oh, no, got to chub that thing up, man.
I mean, Vanderbilt hasn't been a favorite in conference play in like 2.5 years. Now we're laying points to the number 10 team in the nation. It's so hard because, like, I don't want to doubt Diego Pavia, right? We've seen him do this time and time again. Even, when you look at last week and the loss to Alabama, I know it was 30-14, or 2 weeks ago, rather, when they had the bye. I know it was 30-14, but you're talking about a 6-point game going into the fourth quarter at 20-14 in a spot where, Vanderbilt had some turnovers late. I know Bama sort of dominated statistically in yards, time of possession, and everything else. But still, like, it's the kind of game that Vanderbilt, as an underdog, was hanging in. And, oh, by the way, that was another game. Betting Vanderbilt, that should have covered. Another annoying one, which was the right side. Why didn't he just go down? Anyway, so as the dog, I don't mind taking him here. But you want me to lay points here? Or even you're asking me to just, lay 130 on the money line? I don't know, Jeremy. It just, comparatively speaking, it doesn't feel like a spot where I want to do this anymore.
So I did the same exact thing you did, where, like, as soon as I started looking at the lines, that's what happened. No, but when I started looking at the lines, I wrote down Vanderbilt. I'm like, I think I'm going to be on them just, from an initial starting point of the games that I thought I would like. And then once I started diving into the game, I'm like, I don't know that I like them at home as this small favorite. Do I think they can win the game? Sure. But I kept getting, or at least looking at points. I think it goes over the total here. And I understand, like, LSU's defense and all. Diego Pavia is one of those weird guys. We talked about it. 3rd and whatever, he picks up an extra yard. I just feel like somehow, some way, this game goes over the total.
Yeah, I mean, if they were a 2.5-point dog, let me ask you this. Flip this around. If they're a 2.5-point dog, how does it change your perspective on this? right? If they're a short home dog, like, do you feel any better about it?
I probably do because I mean, I do because, like, for example, like, look, I love home dogs and that whole atmosphere that you get there. This
Right.
is going to, but to your point, this is going to be a big game either way. Like, they just got done playing Alabama and the goofiness that happened that game, and then now you're coming back to play LSU, so it's another ranked opponent.
I mean, the one advantage is Vanderbilt's off a bye, has had 2 weeks to prepare. LSU is not. Garrett Nussmeier is banged up. We don't know his 100% status. I mean, we assume he'll play at this point in time, but he's certainly not been Heisman worthy elite kind of stuff going into the year. I don't know. Again, yes, I agree with you to the point of, like, home dogs are worth taking, but from a game script perspective, asking LSU to cover by a field goal, whether they're home, whether they're a dog or a favorite, doesn't change my view of the game.
I get you. Okay.
Like, it doesn't really, like, it's not a
You think this is a field goal game either way?
I would think it's a field goal game either way, yes. And I don't know. I wouldn't bet LSU, but I don't know that I want to lay points with Vanderbilt here. Like, that's the whole thing that bothers me, and I can't get past the fact that they haven't been a favorite in SEC play in like 2.5 years. Come on, like, we're not at the. Odds makers may have officially believe Vanderbilt's turned the corner, right? They're a legitimate team, like they're a legitimate SEC powerhouse, that they deserve this. We do the same thing. Put it in these terms. A team finally shows up in the top 25 for the first time in 12 years. What do we do the very next week in their first game in the top 25? We fade them because they end up getting overvalued and overrated, and the number doesn't match what the team really is. That's sort of a little bit what this feels like. Like, all of a sudden, it's like Vanderbilt's a favorite now. They got to cover a number. They don't just got to stay within a number. They got to cover a number. Granted, it's very short. If this was 3.5, I'd be LSU. I think odds makers know that, and they're willing to do it because, they're sharp and professional guys. I'm not calling myself one of those, but they're sharp and professional guys know at 3.5, they would be the first thing they did was hit it, and they don't want to gain liability for no reason. So this probably won't make my card. Definitely lean Vandy. It was my first initial gut reaction. I don't like to go off of that without some sort of empirical data that makes me go the other way, but that's kind of where I am.
Yeah. And again, like, I'm just going to go back, and if I do bet this, it is going to be the over. But it is kind of odd too. Like, Vanderbilt did play Bama fairly tough until the end of that game on the road. And it's a spot where Bama had revenge. Mm-hmm. And then they get into this, and I think you're right. Like, they're not favored over anyone. And then all of a sudden, the first time they're favored, it's over a top 10 school in the country.
That's the other thing, right? Like,
that's what we're doing.
You want to favor them against South Carolina. I get it. You want to favor them against, Kentucky. I get it, right? Like, I don't have a problem with that. I would give it some pause, but now we're going to make them a favorite of a top 10 team. Like, even if LSU isn't top 10, call them top 20. Really? We're still a favorite over another rank?
Yeah.
All right. Next game here. We're talking about calories between Ole Miss and Georgia.
I guess I'm Kirby Smart then.
And I'm Lane Kiffin, except he's better looking and richer than me.
Well, you're both a-holes, but
but Lane Kiffin's my kind of a-hole. Kirby Smart. So regardless here, we get Georgia and Ole Miss 3:30 kick, and Georgia coming back after the win last week over Auburn. Another game that I was on that Auburn should have covered and didn't. Very,
rough
very
spot.
Very, very unhappy about the outcome of that game.
So,
Auburn, I blame Hugh Freeze a lot. I don't want to recount this whole thing, but nonetheless, dude, you had 31 minutes to get your head out of your ass, and you didn't do it.
So, by the way, what we were talking about, just so people, if anybody didn't see it, Lane Kiffin was asked about, who burns more. He's a demonstrative coach running up and down the sideline, sweating. Who do you think burns more calories, you or Kirby Smart? To which he just said, I just saw his press conference. I don't think Kirby's been burning many calories lately. So essentially called him fat. And they did coach together at Alabama when quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, and Kirby Smart was the defensive coordinator. So maybe it's I don't like the shot through the media. Maybe they are friends. I don't know.
I mean, again, comparatives line analysis here. Georgia was laying 3.5 on the road in Jordan-Hare, right? Last week. Now, I get that they're home, but we have basically an 11-point swing to a team that's much better than Auburn. It feels like a lot of points. However, I've said this all week long that, and I even said it before the Auburn game, it could be that moment for Georgia, that seminal game that puts their season on a different trajectory, similar to what it was last year for them when they went into Texas and won a game. Not a lot of people, including myself, thought they could win. They boat raced everybody else the rest of the way. It was the win they needed to give them confidence. That may be this. This feels like a big number to be laying, and that almost makes me want to take Georgia more. Because, I mean, Ole Miss beat them last year. Georgia has revenge on their side, if you believe in that sort of thing. Kirby absolutely has no desire to play with anybody at this point. Like, as far as, let's just get out of there with a win. He needs some style points, and he knows it. Because this is not a good Georgia team, so they don't take anybody lightly. I don't know, Jeremy. I want to say Ole Miss or pass, but I everything in my head is saying Georgia's the right side.
This is a premium play for me, and I'm going to give it out for free, and it's fine. I like the over. Again, I don't want to be one of these guys that's sitting here like the fact of what you're talking about. I think Georgia needs a statement game, but I also think Ole Miss is going to be able to score on whoever they play.
Yeah, well, that's not a good defense either.
Yeah, and I just think that we could see this back and forth of Georgia taking the lead and Ole Miss trying to get back into it, and that we get a bit of a track meet in the SEC. And I know Georgia's defense is good. I know we could get into the running games, and this could be one where, hey, we get to the 50, we punt. Hey, we get to the 50, we punt. But I don't think we're going to see that. I think we're going to see some long touchdowns.
Georgia's missing a starting corner this week due to injury. So I don't hate that look at all. I really genuinely don't. If I don't have to pick a side and I could pick the over, it really just depends. Does Lane Kiffin have that pucker game that he's been known to have on the road in these big spots where his offense only scores 14 points? Right?
Yeah.
And Georgia wins 35-14 and we're still under.
Yep.
That's –
if I'm the same way as you. Like, if you forced me to pick the side here, I would have taken Georgia for a lot of the same reasons you brought up. I do buy into the revenge stuff. What happened last year in the back of your mind, important statement game. Whether you buy into bulletin board material with Lane Kiffin talking trash about Kirby, or if it's just friendly banter and Kirby doesn't care. Maybe he doesn't care. As I said to you, Kirby looks like he cuts his own hair at home. So he's got that going for him.
Or he has his kid do it. Just as another perspective here. Ole Miss team total over 22.5 on FanDuel. I can live with that. 3 field goals and 2 touchdowns. I can live with that. I really, really, really that to me, because put it this way, I think two other things are correlated. If they don't get to 23, they're not covering 7.5, and I don't think it goes over unless Georgia puts up 40.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So all that sort of ties into me, and I sort of feel like there's more outs there. Could Georgia win the game 27-23? Yeah. I think there's a game script I could do that. Even 30-23 only gets me to 53, and it still stays under, right? Yeah. Georgia could win the game, 40-27, right? And that still get like they just think there's a couple of more outs with Ole Miss's team total than anything else. But if they don't get to 23, I have a hard time. Well, I mean, there's a world where they get to 20 and it's 35-20 and everything, ends up going that way, right?
Well, there's the blowout game script too, where they're getting junk points in the second half. I mean, I think that's
the thing. If it's at 17 and Georgia's up 35-17, a garbage touchdown at the end, I don't know. I think I've arrived at a play I could actually live with this game by accident.
I like it.
I mean, Ole Miss team total over 22.5 is a very favorable number there, especially with 3 field goals, 2 touchdowns, gets me to 23, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, not a bad one there, Jeremy Conn. Look at us go. Yay, us. Yay, us.
Hooray me. Hooray for school. Hooray for Billy.
Yahoo for me. Yahoo for school. Yeah, Billy's the best. All right. Happy Gilmore. I mean, Billy Madison. We should start a thing where you guys in the comment section just have to leave the movie that we quote from. We're not going to tell you. We're just going to throw the quotes out there and see if they can guess them all. We should start doing that every week here on Top Dogs.
I had a really random one the other day on the show, and someone texted me and said, I got it. Was it? I think it was Labyrinth. I said, it smells like the bog of eternal stench in here. And then someone said, I know what that is.
All right, next one. Tennessee and Bama. Number 11 Volunteers, number 6 Crimson Tide from T-Town, Tuscaloosa. Bama laying a little bit of a thick number here, Jeremy. 8.5. I actually think this is down to 7.5. Let me check as we record this show here. No, we're back up to 8.5. This number's bounced around. Went up to 9, went back down to 7.5. Now we're back at 8.5, which makes me go, run away, run away.
Are you so the way it works with us on the site over at Pickdawgz, when we're inputting our plays, they list like 10 different sports books and all of the lines at those sports books. I've been on there a couple times with college football games, and I'm like, how are they off by 2 points at another sports book or 1.5? Which, if you have the time and you're able to do it, it's about shopping. Yes,
I take that one.
Yeah,
I don't care. I take that one. I take the one that helps me win. That's my method.
So what I do is, if there's at least 3 of those sports books have that number, I take that number. If not, I feel guilty taking it.
You have a soul, and you shouldn't in this business.
Yeah, I'm in the wrong business. I'm too nice of a guy.
To have a moral code and a compass and ethics and everything else. That's why I just tell people, hi, here's what I'm doing, and here's why. And if you don't like it, bite my ass. Anyway, back to Tennessee and Alabama. I am very high on Alabama. My power rankings have them as the 4th best team in the country. So I think they're better than where they are. Their defense, probably you could call it concerning as far as national title is concerned. How much do you believe that Joey Aguilar can score on this team? A lot. I think the running back, Jan Miller, is out for this game, right?
Is he out? I didn't see if he was out or just questionable.
I know he's hurt. I think we have to wait and see what his status will be. That's, obviously, and that's the thing that sucks about college football. You're not going to know until game time, right? Till an hour before kick, whether he's in or out. So you kind of got to wait and hold, and the number may move by then.
Hold.
So you steady. Hold. I feel like we're at the point right now where, as much as I want to back Bama, the numbers are getting out of control. Because Bama's not necessarily going to separate from equal competition, even though last week they should have covered that game and won it by double digits. They did not. There was a lot of things that happened in that game that shouldn't have. Anyway, they only have South Carolina on deck. I mean, I tell you, here's what I'd like to do. Again, I want to sit back and watch this game and not bet it. I'm going to sit back and what do you call it? See what the number is next week. I kind of hope that Alabama wins big so they could be a huge favorite at South Carolina, and I could take South Carolina next week before they have to go to LSU, before they have to face LSU in another revenge spot.
It's a great look.
So this may just be a no play for me, but I would lean Tennessee.
I'm all over Alabama here. I don't think Tennessee's defense is going to be able to stop them on the road, especially on the road. When you look at what Alabama's been putting together in the teams, I mean, they've had murderer's row here of tough teams and game environments they had to be in. And this is just another one in a long line of it. I love what they've been doing on offense as far as running the football and throwing it. Right now, their quarterback, was it Simpson?
Simpson, yeah.
He's one of the front runners for the Heisman, which sounds weird.
He's good.
Yeah, he's really good. And by the way, I'm not, Mark talks about teasers, whether you want to do a money line parlay or a teaser.
Oh, Bama.
I don't think Bama and Georgia are losing.
Yes. Say it out loud. Money line parlay for both of them. I think you probably get around minus 135. Let me check.
Like it. I love it.
Bama. And
raw sewage. I love it.
That would be me. Swinging raw sewage. I love it.
Doing stupid naked gun lines.
I know. Well, that's bad. That's bad. Minus 127, Bama, Georgia. That's sweet.
I think it looks pretty good.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
You want to break the number one rule of parlays?
What's that?
When you think you need one more, you don't need one more.
Yeah.
Miami, Bama, and Georgia plus 109.
I don't think Miami's losing either. But the more and more you do this, and you start adding in that one's not losing, one's not losing.
Stop. What?
Yeah.
Golden rule: whenever you think you need one more in a parlay, you don't need one more.
Think we could.
I would tell you don't need three, but those three at plus 109 feels pretty good.
Yeah, I think people are totally overvaluing Louisville. And by the way, Miami, that's Friday night, right? So
yes. So as you're watching this on Thursday, you better hurry up and get that in if that's what you want to do. Should I put a shekel down on it?
Go ahead. Where'd you get a shekel from?
I had a spot at sea over in England once.
I'm betting wampum. So.
I was 6 pence none the richer when I was there. But anyway,
does that mean you want to kiss me on my milky twilight? Wasn't that the band that sang that song? 6 pence none
the You got me that feeling she's all that
yes.
with Freddie Prinze and
beneath the milky twilight.
Yeah, it's Kiss Me. I think it is 6 pence none the richer. God, you have derailed. Okay. Those are like 5 solid movie references, and if you get them all, Jeremy will send you a free play. I won't. There you go. Next game up, SC Notre Dame. I feel like, Jeremy, that two roads diverged in a wood, and this is where you and I go on the opposite sides here. Notre Dame minus 9.5 here, big total, 61 and a hook. USC will be a premium play for me.
Oh, look at that. I talked him into giving one out because I'm on Notre Dame. You know that because we talked about it pre-show.
I don't like the Irish.
Yeah.
The Irish.
Smart enough to get a dagger punch him in.
Oh, it's old man. Okay. Here's the thing. We know USC, since coming to the Big Ten, cannot win games outside of the Pacific time zone. We know that, right? With the exception of Purdue, who is now no longer a Power 4 football team. So we don't count them because they won at Purdue. But we saw what happened to them at Illinois. They lost outright as a favorite. The difference here is that they are not a favorite. They are nearly a double-digit dog. And I would never lay this number with that Notre Dame defense. This is still a really good USC offense. Maava is in the Heisman conversation for what he's doing, as he should be. And I don't believe that Notre Dame can stop USC and keep this thing close. Like, I just don't see – this defense is bad. And you're looking at a USC offense that is really good. They are second in FBS in total yards, second in FBS in passing yards, third in FBS in scoring. And you want to lay 9.5 with the Irish? You're insane.
I wanted to see what the weather was going to be like there
Hold on,
this weekend. 60 degrees, wind 7 miles an hour.
69.
Yeah. It's not going to be anything major that.
I get it. It's a great game, but come on. Like, first of all, Notre Dame is not the 13th best team in the country. Let's just squash that knowledge right there.
They're not, but I'll say this. Okay, so
you have USC in the top 20.
With not having a huge favorite for the Heisman, I think Jeremiah Love somehow makes his way into that conversation because without having a quarterback that's a huge favorite, this would be the perfect year to look at somebody else if none of these quarterbacks have the season we think they can have.
I mean, how could you say Heisman with a guy named Jaden on the other side? Jaden seems to win Heismans. I think it's a fact. If your
it
name
does
is
happen.
Jaden,
yeah. Well, look, I'll say this. I like Jeremiah Love. He might be the best running back in college football.
Yes.
Except for I think the best running back in college football is playing behind him in Jadarian Price. I think that guy's going to be an absolute stud. And the reason why I like Notre Dame is that I think they can ground and pound late, and I don't think USC is going to be able to stop them.
Well, that's their only path out, right? Like if it's a Jeremiah Love game, that's how it happens because the USC defense is better. It's a lot better. Now, they're 29th in FBS in rushing yards allowed. Some of that is a product of the teams that they played.
Yeah.
Right. Michigan State has no real running game. Illinois does. That was the one game that really, and Michigan doesn't really have a running game either, to speak of. But in general, I think that's the game script for Notre Dame is to keep this thing on the ground. But why? They're such a good passing team. Like they've gotten away from what they were last year, running the ball and playing defense. And I actually give the head coaching advantage here to Lincoln Riley. I do. So,
yeah,
it's
interesting that everybody's talking about Marcus Freeman to Penn State now, and it's like, didn't you just have that guy in James Franklin? It's the same guy, right? Same. But what you said at the beginning here is what really stood out to me, because it's a stat that you threw out when we first started doing these shows together about USC leaving their time zone and how they performed. I go back to what I said a few weeks ago. I'm taking Penn State. I'm bucking the trend. I ain't bucking this trend. Give me Notre Dame -9.5. I think they win by double digits.
No. And I'm going to come back here on this very program next week and say, told you.
You will. See, I'll just sit here and go, I was fortunate to win. Mark will be like, in your face.
In your face. Yes, put it in the face.
It's just a wonderful man I met in the men's room.
I met in the
restroom. Yeah. Anyway.
Keep up, folks. Keep up. All right, last game. The Holy War between Utah and BYU. All right, Jeremy. I'm going to do something here that I don't normally do. And I actually kind of enjoy it. I'm going to lay points on the road with you in conference. I love Utah. I like Utah a lot this week. I think BYU is overrated. Their offense is not, Bachmeier's nice and good, but Retzlaff was better. I mean, you know why Retzlaff got kicked out of BYU, right?
For having sex?
Yeah, sex.
Ooh. Ooey. With a girl?
Yeah. I mean, listen, Mormon panties are tough to get off from what I understand. Not that I would know. Anyway.
They're lucky panties, right?
I think, they're magic underwear.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it is.
There's going to be some Mormon watching this going, what the hell are you guys? You guys soaking? Do you know what soaking is, Mark?
No. What is
You don't know what soaking is?
No.
Soaking is where you basically get, you put it in limp and you let it get hard. And then I think somebody jumps on the bed.
Stop. We're not supposed to talk about that on the show.
Oh, what? You can't talk about that?
No, I didn't. No.
Go look up soaking.
Okay, that's all you had to say. I don't want to look it up anymore.
But they also had the thing where they jump on the bed, and because you're not making the movement, they're not technically having sex.
Okay, you know too much about this. I just thought it was going to be a funny joke.
Well, I converted. So, no. Did you see the other story this week? Did you see the other story this week to talk about how much you said the Holy War and how much these two teams hate each other? Some dude was out there tweeting saying, if I see anybody wearing red, I'm shooting them. I'm like, what a world we live in, So there is a lot of hatred between these two teams. What I think happens is I think both defenses show up. I think we get an underplay here.
Well, yes.
I'm not betting this game, though, by the way, but I would bet the under.
Here's my problem with the BYU. Are there numbers for Gazy? I think they've played one legitimate offensive team, and that's Arizona. They've played one legitimate quarterback this so far, and that was Noah Fafita in Arizona. And that was a game they probably should have lost, right? And so I give the edge at quarterback with Dampier to Utah. I give the edge at coach with Whittingham, and I give the edge on defense to Utah. And that's enough for me here. I know it's 3.5. I don't know. Look, I have for years played BYU at home in Provo at night and cashed a lot of tickets, right? Especially as an underdog at home at night. It's different when it's Utah. It's not the same thing. This is a rivalry game. It means the world to everybody. Utah as well, with a loss on their record in the Big 12, has a lot more to play for here than BYU.
Do you want me to read you what the definition of soaking is?
No, we can do it after the show is over, though.
Okay. It's a sexual practice. Oh,
all right.
All right, fine. I won't do it. But I'm not betting this game. When I wrote down my list, it was on there. It's like, I like the under, but as I start to eliminate games of how, I think there were 18 this week I liked. and then I got it down to a manageable number, and I know what my top 5 are. This did not make that cut, but if you forced me to pick, I would bet the under.
Yeah, I think Utah's the right state. Again, I think BYU is overvalued. I don't put much into the number next to each team, but I do know that there are definitively more than 14 teams better than BYU, and
Okay.
I can come up with that. Even in the game against West Virginia, right? Like there were a ton of mistakes they made. BYU won that game easily and still turned the ball over 3 times. 3 times. Like this is not a team that is very sharp. They could beat Colorado. They could beat ECU. They could beat up on Stanford. I get it. But this is a different animal. This is a very talented and well-coached Utah team, and the better quarterback and the better coach reside with the Utes. Those 2 Utes.
The 2 what?
The two what? The 2 Utes. Oh, excuse me, Your Honor.
Utes.
All right. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button there and give a thumbs up to this content because, if you wanted weird definitions of words that you didn't know what they meant, Jeremy is here to give them to you. Drop a comment below and tell him why he's gross.
Or if you want to come over and soak with me.
Okay. All right. I'm going to move on as we continue on here. Yes. Thank you. Let's get to our best bet, shall we, please? Because people are dripping with excitement. See what I did there?
Ew, that's grody.
Oh, I'm the gross one now.
Of course. That's how
anyway.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Let's get to our best bet here. We're going to go to the early window, 12 o'clock window, looking at a matchup with 12th ranked Georgia Tech heading to Duke. Duke. And the Duke Blue Devils. Favored at -1.5. And Jeremy and I are going to go Duke money line. Georgia Tech, look, I've covered this team here in Atlanta. I think Brent Key is a great coach.
I want them to win so bad. I want them to win the ACC. I love that coach. I love that team. But This is the bad spot for them.
Yes. And this is a Georgia Tech team that has played really well. But they've played nobody. And the Clemson win isn't as impressive as we want it to be. Still a very, very good win. They lost 9 straight games to Clemson, needed to get over the hump, finally did it, right? Get it. But what does it tell you that allegedly the 12th best team in the country is a road dog to Duke? Not in basketball, mind you. We're not talking about Duke basketball. They're an underdog to Duke football. That's a problem for me. Odds makers are telling you exactly what is going to happen here. And that's Duke's going to win this game. It's the really best trip-up spot they got other than heading up to Chestnut Hill later in the year when they have back-to-back road games after NC State. But they even have a bye in between there. So it's not even, all that bad of a spot. I don't know, Jeremy. I just Duke is the side for me here. If Georgia Tech ends up winning this game, I'll eat it. But the better – I don't want to say the better quarterback because I do think Mentz is really good, but Haynes King is, one of the best running quarterbacks in the country. But Darian Mensah, the Tulane transfer, has been outstanding this year.
I don't know how many 300 games with 2 or 3 touchdown passes he's already had this year.
I will give you those numbers here in a moment.
I know he had a few in a row, didn't he? He's been really good.
He's gone this year. Every single game has been at least 265 yards passing with 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. I just think they're a better matchup for Georgia Tech than some of the teams that Georgia Tech's played. And before you said it, well, I was going to say it before you, but you said it before me. But the Clemson win does not mean as much when you look at them. And Clemson going in and just beating the crap out of UNC does nothing for me. Nothing.
Right. It doesn't prove that they've fixed anything. So that is our best bet. Duke money line. Again, follow Jeremy. Follow me on Twitter, X, at Mark Zinno, at JCon Sports. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Go check out Top Dawgz NFL Edition as well, which comes out on Fridays. Good luck on Saturday. Enjoy all of the games and go cash some tickets. We'll talk to you next week.